The airbags were deployed.
And this guy McGrath, he specializes in accident reconstruction, according to ABC 15.
McGrath's team ran their own analysis.
After the airbags came out, somebody turned that ignition over at least 46 more times. That's not normal. We usually see 1 or 2 because it adds one when we download the box. We have to put power to it.
The ACM also reports the vehicle's speed.
There's an additional 11 miles on the car since the airbags deployed. So that tells me the car was driven around after it crashed.
Buckeye police are now analyzing data from the Jeep's entertainment system connected to Daniel's cell phone. McGrath says the system shows the Jeep was involved in a collision around 1 p.m. on June 23rd, nearly 4 hours after he was last seen.
June 23rd. Accident or collision, I should say.
I'm so tired.
The Jeep was involved in a collision around 1 p.m. on June 23rd, nearly 4 hours after he was last seen.
We have a gap in time, and we don't know where he went, what was going on at that point. By looking at the photographs, it doesn't match the area. Sometimes those can be a staged event, and this looked like a staged event to me.
My son is an outgoing guy. He is optimistic. He has dreams. He has dreams of things he wanted to do in the future. He loved to travel. Matter of fact, he had plans for his family to come visit him in July. I had plans.
There's a missing male
his vehicle for the first time. He's proud of that Jeep.
with one hand
For myself,
in Buckeye, Arizona.
the first time in the situation that it was in, it was very devastating for his mother and myself and his siblings.
Daniel's brother says he believes police are doing what they can to find him now, but
had they been quick about it in the beginning,
That's the
I
picture
don't
I showed
know.
you earlier.
It's terrible.
no, we wouldn't be here 3 months
I'm so
later,
tired.
still searching for my brother and still looking for answers.
It took me 3 months to look at my son's picture. Just seeing his car. It took me 3 months to look at his car. You thought you felt pain. Try looking for your child and not knowing where he is.
Yeah, I believe that if they would have stepped up to plate at the beginning, I wouldn't be standing here now.
I took some screenshots from Reddit, and just to give a little bit of maybe the dangers of the desert. One person said a lot of these comments keep getting removed. If they refer to what I think they're referring to, there are parts out here where it is known to stay away. His job description is interesting. If he wandered onto the wrong land, he would not be the first to go missing. And to note, his vehicle was only 4 miles away from where he was last seen, his job. Another comment says, I've done some work out in the area and been chased off or confronted at times. People choose to live further from others for lots of reasons. I would still hope that someone who knew something or had seen him would choose to come forward, even if they don't agree with the reason he was working out that way. There's a lot of conversation going on Reddit with regards to this story. One person says, I live right down the road and they're developing large areas for housing out there at the moment, so it won't stay rural for long. Another person says, I don't know the specific project he was working on, and I don't want to suggest any relationship to his disappearance. In response to the reason I was confronted in the past, people in hard hats and vests mean form of change is coming to the desert, and not everyone sees that as a good thing. I also read some pretty disturbing posts with regards to, in some deserts, what they could do to make people disappear. Now, it was a little bit weird following this story because of the different times and different articles and different backs and forths and not really sure what's what. But at the end of the day, Daniel Robinson needs to be found and his family needs answers. And I put
That's
this
where
together
my
just of some of the little
stepdaughter
peculiar things
moved to
while
when she
watching it.
left
Mental health is a serious
college.
So I can't rule out foul play. So I don't know how Buckeye can.
At this time, the department has no evidence to suspect foul play or a crime. McGrath doesn't believe Daniel's disappearance was criminal either, after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health weeks prior to his...
You see what I mean when I say contradictions and stuff like that?
So these,
This is
yeah.
why I put this in the video, so you can hear and see the different aspects and perspectives. Let me take it back a little bit, just to this part here. Other things while watching, and mental health is a serious issue.
So I can't
Yeah,
rule
it
out
is.
foul play. So I don't know how Buckeye can.
At this time, the department has no evidence to suspect foul play or a crime. McGrath doesn't believe
It's
Daniel's
terrible.
disappearance
I
was
want some
criminally
ice cream.
after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health weeks prior to his disappearance.
Daniel Robinson's state of mind, a recurring theme in this report.
No enemies, no ongoing mental illness. He wasn't suffering from anything.
Yogurt.
Anything that might
Okay,
cause
that's
that
me.
kind of arrest.
Nothing.
Whatever the reason,
Coming at you from my
I
couch.
put all the different aspects, so the father says no. These are the places
tired.
saying yes. You know.
his goal remains to find Daniel Robinson.
We want to bring him home to his family so they can have some closure.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not leaving.
Wow, it seems like it's
The
handicap
link to the
mound.
GoFundMe will be down in the description below. Daniel's father traveled from South Carolina to Arizona to search for his son. And thank you guys for stopping by. There's some all right, so that was my first video. I did that video September 29th. Now I kind of want to go over some of
Oh, honey.
the new details, I guess.
Honey.
Well, let me just show you. Let's start off with this clip. This is from News Nation, and then we're going to get into the supposed text messages. And there was also a Dr. Oz thing that was kind of interesting too, and the father speaks here as well. And then we'll get into the press conference.
Thanksgiving celebrations, one father spent the holiday passing out flyers for his missing son, Daniel Robinson. He has been missing since June 23rd. His SUV found a month later abandoned in an Arizona ravine. The 24-year-old geologist was last seen leaving work, and then he vanished without a trace. Police, a private investigator, and Daniel's family, especially his dad, all coming up empty-handed in their investigations so far. Daniel's disappearance happened about the same time as Gabby Pettito, but received far less national attention. We have been highlighting this case for several months now on our missing reports, and we hope that some renewed coverage brings some answers to Daniel's family.
And regardless whether the guy had mental issues or not or whatever, I'm not trying to say he doesn't need to be found. Of course, this needs to be found. But I have to point out just all the different, very weird things that I saw when I was doing the story. This story is what I consider a deep dive when I made that video. 10 hours putting something together.
Joining me now is Daniel's father, David Robinson. Sir, we appreciate you once again coming on and giving us an update. Thank you for your time.
Well, thanks for having me.
I do understand you do have some new information to share with us tonight that may change the timeline of events. What have you learned?
Yes, for a couple of weeks, we've been vetting a federal law agent officer who was out there on the 23rd that morning when my son disappeared. He had a conversation with my son. We tried.
So now this is new information, right? Dad's saying that there was a federal agent officer that spoke with Daniel the day, I guess, that he went missing, I guess. That day.
Timeline to get but he had a conversation with my son. He seemed very coherent. He spoke to him and his children, gave him directions to where he can target practice, best target practice. The agent told me that my son Dibble was clean and appeared to be brand new. He didn't seem like he was in distress. So they helped my investigator to get a better timeline to what really happened that morning. Compare that with the testimony of what we thought at one time was the only person that saw my son that morning.
Does this help in terms of clues, or does it further confuse you as to what happened?
Well, so far, I think it would help, give us a better timeline, because we do know that the initial crash happened roughly around 1 o'clock that evening. So this new eyewitness sheds new light on that timeline. So once we get that confirmed with the timeline and put that against what the testimony was, the time my son was last seen at the well site, we get